My name is Karl, Stefan Karl exactly, but Karl is my last name, also kind of nickname. I'm playing guitar by 0101. I'm doing live looping stuff with a loop pedal. That's my approach. I grew up on some hardcore and punk music, so this is my musical background. But I'm open-minded for other things and stuff. And the last years I heard a lot of post-rock, some things. And yeah, I play guitar. I have this approach to be like I do some minimal stuff. So I'm not a, how can I say, virtuos player. Yeah, I do some minimal riffs, which has a lot of space for other riffs, so then they can fit together. And in my daily life, I'm a social worker, and I work with people who have mental health issues. Yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah, most of you know us anyhow, but like, my name is Daniel, Daniel von Rüdiger, and I'm my background is actually media design. I studied media design, then I did like a master in design and communication strategies, but which was quite artistic actually. And then I always was interested in more also a theoretical approach. So I was studying something, it's called iconic research. So the idea is that you actually work as an artist, but you also find out, you research also on a theoretical level actually what you're doing. So it's like something in between media theory and artistic. It's called artistic research and an artistic approach. Early on, I started to being most interested in photography and in filming. And Stefan and me actually have a long history. We grew up together. We met on the playground. Like, we were really from this day then kind of best friends. So it's like most of our life we spent together kind of. And one of the things we always did together was like we started really early doing music together. Punk band, first German punk bands, and then I went more into this field of like media art, and so I was also always in charge and doing then the music videos, doing the artwork for the band and stuff. And then after we had like a record label and everything, and we were trying to get like more stepped up with our punk rock band, and we had a great time, I think, but like at someday, like people get old and like the band, they had family and how it always goes probably. And then we stopped this, and after a couple of years, or like 2 years of break, we came together, just us two again as 0101. And the idea actually was, and now we have to make a little jump on what I also do on the side in my media field, is like I would consider me as a documentarist. And in 2014, I took a break in my university. I teach in a university for art education. I teach photography mainly and moving images. And I wanted to do something more like on a social approach. So I offered my work as a documentarist for free in 2 countries where I was really interested. So I first went to Nepal, and I worked there for an orphan home. And then for a couple months, and then I was invited. I was really lucky because to Papua New Guinea by Elizabeth Cox, which is an Australian social worker who spent most of their life in Papua New Guinea. And she invited me, I offered to work for free, but for traveling costs, to document actually quite remote areas in Papua New Guinea, mostly for social reasons. So we checked out how like how's the health post running, how's the education running. It was then used for political, critical approaches to the government when something is not well running. And also out of this work, I was mainly in a village. It's called Kambot. It's in the Sepik region. You can't just travel there by boat or canoe anymore, and it's like quite out. And there I was really amazed of the self-sustaining lifestyle these people have there. And I documented their daily life, and mainly, for example, one thing I documented for a longer time was like how man built a canoe, and out of this came a documentary which was running last year here. It's called Canoe Belong Keram. It's also on Vimeo, completely online, because all my work for Papua New Guinea, it's important then that the people in Papua New Guinea also, of course, can have a look at it, and next year I want to go back to bring my material back. And then, yeah, we can just, maybe I can just show you the trailer of the documentary, because it's kind of the starting point then of our working together also. So this
Because we did the score?
Ah, of course, yeah. You want to say something about the score?
Yeah, it's also our kind of music. We have this approach to combine things in different ways. So we had this material for audiovisual performance and also for this documentary film, and we do the music in different contexts. Also for example, to make the score for the film or installations like this, and also the music for performances. So the music is not always the same, but it's the same structure, or how can I say? And we also released a record with just the music without visuals. Yeah, we have it with us on vinyl, and Spotify, of course, and all the platforms.
So I think the most important of our work is kind of to also see how different audiovisual musical footage can be used in many, many different contexts. So like in a documentary film fest, but also some more in an I do also video installations with this, so also more in like a quite artistic approach, or something like the performance approach. And so it's interesting, but it's also complicated to use this image on many different fields. So we'll just show the trailer of the documentary, and the music is done by us, of course. Also on our website, which is 0101.wtf, you can watch the whole documentary. It's a 16-minute short documentary. So then the idea was to use this footage in an audiovisual live performance. Mainly, I think it started off because I'm doing this PhD in artistic research, and my topic in the PhD is like comparing actually rhythm in audio with rhythm in video, and how this can be combined. And of course, on a rhythmical approach, the people in Papua New Guinea, how they work, how they are built, it's so rhythmical in that sense that it's important to work together. Like you have to synchronize yourself, and like all this this footage itself had for me a lot to do with rhythm. And then it was also this idea to use this image and edit it to music. But of course, like when we had like this talk today also from George, using this material, I'm like, as a foreigner going to a country, filming these people, going back to my country and doing something with this material can be seen, of course, really critical. And for also in my documentary, for me, it was always really important to actually appreciate the sustainable lifestyle of the people in Papua New Guinea. It's for sure like, if everybody would behave like them, we would not have any environmental concerns like we have them. So of course it's like many things like we can learn from them, and like especially like nowadays when it's like so much about sustainable lifestyle, what it actually means. Of course these people, not just also this, but also that we sometimes look at them that they are poor, they have less than us, but actually I experience them as really, really happy people. You can see that they look really healthy, they are really strong, they get good food, and like, yeah. And, but because of all us using this material also live on stage, we also had to, dig deeper in this critical whiteness debate. I don't know how familiar you are with this, but it's also like, also some concerns like with First Nation people, and how can you appreciate their culture, but how are you allowed to use these images and so on. So we will just show like a second of the performance that you just get an idea, but of course you will be all here tonight and then you experience it anyhow live in full length.
So we got the sago from the bush out, and we put the water in the fire, put the sago in the dish, and when the water is boiling, we get the water poured on the sago, and we stir it, and it becomes like glue. And that sago we call it ang.
Yeah, and to add some note to Daniel's speaking about this dedication to their lifestyle. First of all, we started just playing music and show the videos. And after a while, because of this critical whiteness debate, and we thought about how to do it the most, how can I say, political correctness way, we decided to give the people also a voice. So you hear the guy talking, and we have the field recordings, the audio from these images as loud as our music. So this is not just the pictures, and we are playing. We playing together, and we have their voices and sounds. So on the same level, like our thing. Yeah, and so that was all around the background. What we're doing now is to talk about looping, because this is our approach. All is loop-based music, loop-based videos. So a little background history, when it all began, and what is looping all about, and like this. And then we talk about some music visualization. We will show you up on stage a little bit of our, how we do this visualization and the synchronizing MIDI stuff like this. And yeah, then we have some time for Q&A, but also you can always, please feel free to interrupt us and ask questions, and like this.
Good, we heard about looping already. That is actually an interesting approach also, that in the end, of course, like looping is also important than programming, and like really like on a digital level. On an artistic level, it kind of all started, of course, first when we had the possibility to record something and to play it back. So looping is actually just you have something which you repeatedly play. And on an artistic way, it was a lot used from, for example, Beatles. The voice of Elvis Presley is like all because of a tool which is called like the tap delay. On effects, you have to ask this guy.
Yeah, I'm the pedalboard nerd. Yeah, a loop is quite similar to a delay. Yeah, I think you know delay, like echo. When you're echoing something, it's kind of the echo is the pre-loop. Yeah, there were no loop stations back in the 60s, but you had these. This is the most famous thing, I think. It's the Roland Space Echo. It's very expensive if you get one on eBay. And this is a real tape delay echo. Yeah, you can see the tape, and nowadays you have this in little boxes and digitalized it. But this is so where it come from and where it begins, and so Elvis' voice and this I don't know, rockabilly or or country style delays. It's yeah, this tape echo style.
So this is probably like a loop which is important to modify sound. And then, of course, it was important what we also saw in the talk before already. Of course, like how music is structured. Nowadays, even like rock bands, they don't play the whole song often. I mean, they play the one lick and then they kind of copy it. So everything, like all pop music is like, of course, loop based.
I would say everything, but jazz, classical, and maybe experimental music.
Yeah, or like
So
live recorded.
or live recording, yeah.
Everything where you don't have any change of speed anymore. Normally, it's also produced like loop based. So this is, for example, what is it actually?
Logic, Kanu.
Yeah, that's like all the files for the sound of one of our songs. And everything we do is built on, which is important then for the live synchronization, is built on 60 seconds long loops. And all our music is just like looping, adding more stuff or less stuff. Video-wise, of course, we all know that also like a film is actually a loop. So there's a lot of experimental film work done by film loops, film projectors which are running in a loop. Nowadays, VJs work constantly with loops in music videos. Editing has a lot to do with showing the same, like it's, yeah, so you all know this. And then also from live on stage, like this production software I use, I will show you then later, something what is called like a drum machine from Native Instrument. So there, for me it's easy, I just have to press a play button and I have my drum set, how I wanted to have it sound, and of course it's just looping. It's like, yeah, like your loop. The computer is doing the work of the looping. But for Stefan, it's a little bit more complicated because he plays a real instrument.
Yeah, I can show you later up on stage my real pedal board if you're interested. I don't know, but yeah, you can feel free to come on stage, or we can talk later by the Q&A. But this is a picture. This is my looper. I use this. It's a stereo looper, so you see. Yeah, maybe you don't see it, but here you have 2 inputs and 2 outputs and 2 loop ways. And so I can use just it's MIDI synchronized. That's very important that the loops don't run like this. And yeah, I can make one loop to send them on a bass amp and the second loop to send them on a guitar amp, and so I have this yeah, kind of more I don't know,
Bigger sound.
wall of sound. Yeah, I like this.
Yes.
So are the loops recording?
No, that's actually probably the most important in the beginning. Like everything you hear from the guitar is played live. He's recording himself after he played it. Like, yeah, like you were doing yesterday also.
Yes,
like.
you play it.
Yeah, I play it and then it
It's
shows
recorded
playback.
and then it just keeps playing it back.
Okay, that's the
I don't record something at home. I usually I never record anything, I can't. I never had guitar lessons, and I cannot read the notes, and so I cannot write it. And I also do not record. So I just play at home, and when I can't remember it the next day, then it's not good enough maybe, and then I don't think about it and make a new one. And in 20 years, I never recorded at home. Yeah. Yeah, this is my pedal board, if you are interested. I come this way. So my guitar goes right in this tuner, and then the yellow one is a distortion, yeah, kind of rock box, more so fuzzy, harsh distortion thing. And this is a reverb. This amp also has a great, really great reverb. Thank you, Adrian, for giving us this. But I need this reverb in front of the delay. This is the delay, because otherwise, when you have this pedal board for your amp and then you have this delay and then the reverb from the amp, then the reverb will wash this delay, and it's not so crystal clear like if you do this before. Yeah, and then I have another fuzz box which make this, I don't know, Jimi Hendrix style sound. This is a delay, like a space echo delay. I showed you in a modern way. Maybe it's an analog delay, but you can control it digital. So I can do tap like this, the tempo, and then I can choose if it's on the quarter note or the half note or between. And yeah, funny thing. This is an octave pedal, so I have a clean signal going in, and then I can just hear the dry signal from the guitar, or I can add a sub-octave, which is an octave below the signal, or a higher octave up, and mix them together to get this synthy kind of sound. And what I do is do the dry and the octave up sound all the way down, and just do this sub-octave signal, and do this, like I said before, to the bass amp, and so I can do a great bass sound. From this, I go into this tremolo. It's this 60s Western surf sound, like so, wow, 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 wow. Maybe you know this from some songs. And from this, I go straightly in this A-B-Y switch, which allows me to make a signal A, B, or Y, which means the first, the input and output 1, or the input and output 2, or both together. Yeah, this is my looper, and this is a remote switch for the looper. When I'm doing very wrong, I can remove some things, but I never do this. Yeah.
So I think it was like really prepared to have like hardcore guitar fans here to get like a really deep inside of guitar effects. Now we will just talk shortly about synchronizing loops. Of course, the funny thing is, like, I play something and Carl is playing something, and somehow it has to end up like this. We have to have two lines which are synchronized together. And the problem is that actually when we are not completely on time, if we would just do it by hand, they would kind of run out of sync. Like it's called like phase shifting. And so actually we synchronize ourselves by MIDI. So I send him a MIDI signal, so his looper knows exactly when there's the one. It's just, yeah.
You can explain the MIDI signal, like what is the MIDI?
Yeah, it's like it's musical instrument digital interface. It's actually to what I use the MIDI for. I send like a clock. It's called like a MIDI clock. So I send like actually just like a digital signal to his device, which is just like giving him a clock, and how he is or his thing is function in time is steered by kind of my MIDI clock. I mean, MIDI is also used a lot to kind of it's a signal. You can also use it to use it for instruments and all kind of stuff. It's like a standard, which is quite old, but like great still.
And after every single note, it goes back to the one, and played it again, and really to the one, and not like this, and because of the latence, yeah, so you don't have this trouble.
So we come to the next big topic, which probably also you are interested, all the people which are not so much into music, is the visualization of music, which is actually like my artistic research all about. And first of all, music visualization has always somehow something to do with synchronizing. So if we have an audio signal and a video signal and they are on time, you think like they fit together. Like you see my lips moving and you hear my voice, so you think this voice comes probably out of my mouth. So in real life, actually everything is always synchronized. So, but in audio and video, you have, of course, like two different layers, and then they can do, like when you have like lip synced something, then kind of it works because the sense is the same, but the timing is not really correct, but it's still, your brain brings it still together. Synchronization, like my work, is a lot about rhythm, and like I said, like rhythm is most important, or the background of rhythm is actually from work. And even before, like from hunting or also in animals, like when they scream together, they can reach more, kind of. It's like the most important also on social to bring us together. Like we like to go to rock concerts and all cheer at the same time, or we like to, yeah, in a soccer game or something, like it brings us together to synchronize us with another. That's also why we like music and so on. And I show you a little video where I was impressed from the people in Papua New Guinea, how important then to use their voice to synchronize themselves.
Ja, das habe ich jetzt ein bisschen angezogen, weil dann ist Musik. Aber es ist auch so am Nachmittag, ist auch die Musik danach.
So like often when the noise comes from like smashing something, then they do it in rhythmic automatically because they make a noise, and if something doesn't make a noise, like tearing a canoe, then they start screaming. And so it's really about something great to achieve in a group, which is then of course used also in culture. Like I said, we like to synchronize ourselves. We found just 2 days ago in Canada, we found a video we wanted to show you from our background, our cultural background, also if we don't practice it really. So a great form of cultural group getting together. Here we go. That's the flag of Bavaria. And so on and so on. So if you're ever in Bavaria, maybe you're lucky in a beer tent, you can experience some culture synchronization like this. So actually in every culture, it doesn't matter if you hit a drum or if like these guys hit themselves, or like if you do it synchronized, it kind of brings the group together and you like it normally. So back to audio and video. In audio and video, being synchronized my approach is to divide it in 2 levels. You can have it like on content based. That means like when you hear something that it makes sense. If I do this and like a different sound comes, then it's like not synchronized on a content level, or of course time based. So I show you some examples from also Papua New Guinea where I changed then the sound and the synchronization just for a short example. So normally the video would be like this. So even when we hear background noises, but it's really for us clear, like the strokes come from the X, and it's like how we perceive normally also reality. But of course in video, that's like as an art form, or like we can play with this is actually, we decide that it's called dissonant, that it actually doesn't fit. So here, for example, the content would be wrong. So automatically, because the timing is correct, our brain is kind of tricked that we think actually this is maybe making this noise, but it actually doesn't make sense because we see it's an X that would and it wouldn't make this noise. So the timing is like the most precious thing which our brain is thinking like, why not get it together? And now, like, I changed the timing a little bit, and with timing it's interesting, and this we all know from like synchronizing, lip synchronizing, it can be actually kind of off, but we still get it together. Like you also said, like even when it was on random, your drums, they still fit kind of together. And the last thing would be now to make both kind of wrong, and then it's really kind of breaking apart. Then like you think like, okay, maybe the audio layer does not anything to do with the video layer. Good. And now back to our work. Of course, we start also like from a musical approach and a video approach. So that was always important for us, that not like in a music video, for example, you have the music, you get the track, and then you do the video on top. Or like in making a score, you have the video content already, and then you make the music on it. Our performance was like from the beginning, we want to do both involved. So we always change the video, we change the sound, we change the sound, we change the video. So like we try to make it quite democratic, like what audio and video is. So on content, as long timing is right, I just show you some examples I did for another project where I'd also do music visualization with a violin player. Just like quite cheesy animations, but like also different approaches how to synchronize actually the same part of music and to visualize it. The music is by Steve Reich, violin phase. And of course you can also use real footage, like real film images. And I work also a lot together with dancers, which is like probably the most famous music visualization. So, like as soon as it's synchronized, we kind of get it together anyhow. Our two songs and our two approaches is like also the show tonight. It's like divided in two parts. The one is Canoe. You want to say anything about Canoe?
Yeah, Canoe is the visuals is about filming the man of Kambot, the village in Papua New Guinea. Which do a great canoe, build a canoe, and you see this working on wood with their axes and this manpower. And the second, maybe you will do the second.
We show a short example of the footage I use then for the live performance or for the visuals. So you see like a lot of action at one time, and so this can be used great to also synchronize two beats in music. Even when it's played backwards and so on. And the second one, Sago.
Yeah, Sago is, shows also the people of combat, but the women who are doing Sago, which is the staple food in Papua New Guinea, they have to hit very hard. It's very hard work to get the Sago out of the Sago plant. I don't know, and they had to wash it out, and it's also a hard work which doing the women there, and it's also has a big rhythmical topic.
And it was also important for us to show like both sides of kind of the gender, because especially in self-sustainable villages, it's quite like the men do this job and the women do this job, but actually like, yeah, both sides are absolutely equally important, and both sides work really, really hard. And for example, for the Sago, for the food, the women, it's their responsibility. So just a short video, which you then will see tonight, also be used, is like washing the Sago, which is also a real rhythmical work. So it has already like kind of a loop-based sound and of course visual to it itself. Now, really fast, we will go through how we kind of set up that we are synchronized, the audio and the video. Everything we do is, of course, because it's music-based, is built on bars. We will not go into music theory yet now so much, but like one loop of Stefan playing his guitar loop is 4 bars long. And every bar is like, I don't know if any musicians are here, but that's like the most basic. Almost all pop music you hear is like built on 4x4 bars. And so everybody can like clap along really easy. And the most emphasis is always on the 1. And the second most emphasis is normally like then on the 3. And then comes the 2 and the 4. And the offbeats are the and. It's like, yeah, in reggae you have more than on the offbeat, but then you have like a different type of rhythm. So if you clap along to music, you normally clap on the 1 or on the 3 or on the 2 or on the 4. So that is like the most important synchronizing points for our kind of music. Like in Indian music and Chinese music, it's more difficult, like much more complicated than our Western music, but like, yeah, we keep it quite simple. So then the next important thing is when you want to get like audio and video together, synchronized, you kind of have to find one grid on what your timing is based on. And in audio, normally it's beats per minute. It's like how fast the music is. And in video, you know, all video works with frames per minute. And so if you just have 24 frames per minute, it doesn't make any sense to make it even more precise, because like the video cannot do it anyhow. So our approach is like really slow actually. We use like just 60 BPM, which is like 1 stroke a second, which is like, normal dance music is 120 beats, because you don't want to dance like this. And all these beats can be easily, of course, synchronized then with video. And testing, it can look then like this, for example. Yeah, I think that's like the most rudimental synchronization of music. And I know it was kind of nerdy now, and like, but I think it's maybe good time to have a little questions if you have any. And then we come to a short second part where we would just like show you hands-on, no more explanations, just like show you a little bit the equipment, how it works actually then. Any questions so far? Yeah.
I was really fascinated with the illustration too, as well with the video, because and also I like to point out, like, it is cringeworthy to hear and see the sound not sync together, because it's becoming such a habit for temperature and sound. And I was just remember seeing the example. It was there like where the guy's chopping the wood, and the beats were kind of off. Like for filmmakers, it can be such a cringeworthy moment to see sound and picture not in sync. So it's just been it's becoming such a habit for filmmakers, but not only for those, but for people who like for moviegoers and all that who watch film and TV. Like whenever they see something in sync or out of sync like that, it's becoming such a habit now.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's actually a really good point, because we got like, it depends a lot on the context. Like if you go to a film festival where it has like a huge artistic approach, then these people seem like, oh, it's in sync, it's boring. Like then it's like almost like the opposite. They don't want to have it wrong because it makes it more interesting. But of course, like for every film, like in you and we like it just much more when it's in sync. Because when it's not in sync, it's kind of not like in our real world. So it's like kind of messing with our brain, and normally we like to see this order. We like to have it in sync. Yeah. Yes.
Have you two ever like collaborated with anybody else, like joining the project, like bringing another instrument or bringing anything else in, or has it just been just you two like solely?
No, like one part goes completely to somebody else. This is all the mixing and mastering of the music. That's also the guy from our label, from Hicktown Records in our hometown, Rosenheim, which is like smaller than Thunder Bay, but there we go to the studio, because we are not into like, all this fine mixing of audio. And we also had a tape mastered analog, then, Reinhard Groß is his name, and we had great time working together with him. He's also doing like our recording for the record and stuff.
Yeah, and we had this kind of collaboration in a different way because of our bands back in the days. So we had different bands with different peoples, and but in this 101 project, it's we two and our technique
And
guy.
probably we must say we like, because I was coming always from the graphic background, so we always a lot of DIY, so we are used to do kind of everything by ourselves. Except now, also for the score, when you have then money, then you get some like, professional sound guy, for example, Yes?
Can you explain a bit about your process of recording audio for your documentary?
Yes. First of all, also there, I think for me it's positive. I don't know. I worked a little bit in the film industry as a lighting boy, or whatever you call it, and director assistant. But normally, like most of my work, also the music videos, I'm always like a one-man crew. So also in Papua New Guinea, I was traveling with the social worker, which my job was to film everything. She never worked together with a filmmaker. She had no idea what we will do with the footage. In the beginning, it was really difficult for me, because we said like, well, okay, but how long do we want to have this piece in the end? Kind of like the normal approach of like we don't know, but we need this. So I documented for about 2 months, straight 2 months, every day, like for hours. So I have like a huge stock of footage in Papua New Guinea, and my approach is, especially in Papua New Guinea, but it's also, I'm really in love with like more ethnological films. I would never consider me an ethnological filmmaker because I don't have this academic background, but probably for my it's more like this. So you live somewhere, and you are not going somewhere and trying to get some good shots. So you live together with the people till they kind of feel familiar, or you're just okay, you're the guy with the camera and they don't see you so much anymore, and then it's more, probably for my style of shooting, it's like more guided by like a photographic view, because I'm also in the same time always doing photos. So, and then really, really simple. I use like a 5D Mark III. I have like 3 lenses, all fixed lens, and almost no camera movement. And I just, And then I have like a small little field recorder, and I set it somewhere and have some ambient sounds, and that's it. And then probably my most work is then what to do with this lot of footage and like, yeah.
There's a lot of post-processing too.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. But like most important for me is probably like, yeah, to live together with these people and not to have this idea, I want to have this. Or like also like in all my documentary pieces, I never talk to the people whatever they want to do in front of the camera, except like in an interview situation. But I never like in the Cano building, it's never like, oh, I missed it, can you please move this a little bit back again? I'm just there and I get what I get. Like it's like a, yeah, like probably in a nature documentary or something. So there's no, I'm really bad, also I know it from my times where I tried to make some money as a wedding photographer. Like there are some great people, I'm sure, but for me this never worked, telling people what to do in front of the camera. Yeah.
So if you could, would you present this in Papua New Guinea?
Absolutely. I mean, for me, most important is like going back in 2019. First of all, because I promised these people that I come back. And also because I'm really critical in ethnological film. It's often, and these people, when you film people, even when they never went to a movie theater, but like they understand what filming and what, you take something from them. And they often experience that white people came, especially ethnological people, they lived together maybe a year with them, filmed them, but they never came back. They never showed them actually what they, so for me it was already, I took ethnological film material back to Papua New Guinea, which is not easy, which you kind of almost have to steal from the museums, but this I shouldn't say on tape. But yeah, because I think it's like also time now to bring back also images, and like we did not just steal artifacts, we also stole a lot of images. And like, so this is important to bring it back, and in 2019 I will go back. With photos it's easy, because then I could like have it printed and give it to them. But also with video, it's really strange how actually technically developed they are on one level are. They have cell phones, but like, so I tried to get everything online. Was also working together with the Museum of Cultures. This documentary was co-produced, and one of my things was, okay, we can do it, but I have to be able to put it online right away also. But yeah, I will go back. Maybe we go together someday.
We have a lot of Facebook fans there.
Yeah, we have a lot of
more than
Facebook
German Facebook fans.
in Papua New Guinea.
They like this.
Yeah. And I think it's a complicated issue, like how to use this image, but like I think they are proud that we were interested in them anyhow, and it's also, I mean, there's so many, if you Google Papua New Guinea, you get full of cliches and full of bad stuff, which is kind of not true, or which is just good for filmmakers, because it sounds like much more adventurous if you say you almost got eaten or whatever these people sometimes say, but like, yeah, they are most nice people and are really, really fit in surviving, and are really, yeah, knowledge based on working together with nature.
Yeah. So very healthy people.
Very healthy people, yes. One second, I would just show you, because maybe you're interested in how this video stuff is done tonight. So this is actually what I use is VJ software. Now it will be a little bit small, but you can see the software at the same time. So a VJ software is nothing else but like a DJ software, but you do it in real time with the videos. And I use a MIDI pad where I can, for example here, do the directions. I can of course pause it. I can loop it in different speeds. And because then I know exactly the speed, it will be always synchronized with the music. And I can also jump to different videos. And so this is actually how I also in the live context then use these images. And actually one more critical approach also by playing with these videos is that because of people coming from the outside, what changed most in Papua New Guinea is actually their timing. Like before they had no money, there was like no timing, like we have always this timing, like an hour is worth so and so much money because our working time, and they didn't have it at all till like really recently. So actually what we changed the most probably is their timing, and this is what I actually also do a lot in the video, changing their timing, changing in which direction I want to like, yeah. Besides of this, I can of course put different effects on the video and play with them. And of course, because I can do this in real time, I can do this by hand also on time. And I'm coming, or like when we were doing normal music together, I come from a drummer background. So for me, it was actually interesting to play it like a drum. So with a MIDI pad, this is possible to play it like a drum and audio and video at the same time. Yeah. Any questions to this?
And can you put, so you have your video all on one track at the top, but you could also stack them?
Yes, I stack them also. For example, here I have them on different layers, so I can come in with different layers. And I do this then having all the sounds also. So this is this video, this is this video, and this is this video. And so I do, for example, that I bring this video but this sound so that it doesn't fit, and then later this video comes and this sound, and then this video and this thing. And then I can also that's like, for example, it's actually quite a cheesy visual effect, but like we use it because the music is fading. You will see it tonight. It will take like minutes and minutes where I, for example, fade then this in till it goes into a new different image. So it's like this, yeah. And of course I can do everything in real time. It's everything in full HD. It's nowadays not a problem anymore with a normal MacBook actually. And it is funny enough that not many people do this with real images, real footage, because this VJ software is often just animation stuff, but nowadays they are good enough that you can do it in HD, and that you can do it also with, like, of course, real images, and that you can use the sound of the images, which is, yeah, when you loop it and stuff like this.
What is the name of this program?
This is Resolume 4 by Avenue. Resolume 4. Avenue, Resolume 4. Like there's also a version where you do also the mapping. Like this software is used for also when you go and see probably kind of, I don't know, Guns N' Roses in Montreal, and then they use like when they have their video screens, it's normally all done by something like this. Like it's also for mapping videos and yeah. But they normally don't play around a lot with this, they just have it set up. And I also have, it's not that I don't know which videos I want to play, so it's half set up, half improvised and half played, but it's like, yeah, we know. And it's also important for Carl, he knows when this video comes, what this will mean and so on. Yeah.
So did you rehearse a lot when you first built this?
Yes, you could say we rehearsed a lot because, I mean, we see it as actually as a processed work, so it's not done. It will never be done, which is funny that then you don't have so much pressure. You just say it will never be done, it will always change anyhow. But now we had it, I think we had like a year till we showed it the first time.
Yeah, more than a year.
More than a year we worked on it. But also because we had to find out a lot of technical stuff, like how to synchronize ourselves, how to get, like, which videos to use, like how, I learned everything with this project. So nowadays it would be easier for us to do a next project probably. And then we really actually changed a lot, but we meet once a month. I live 6 hours away, so we meet once a month for a weekend. And so we just can rehearse anyhow, like 10 times a year maybe, but then for a weekend. And now we showed it, I think, 10 times.
10 times, yeah, but every single performance is not the same like the performance before, so we always change a little bit. And doing the negative,
Yes, and probably like today we will do it like in positive, but the next step is that we will change the images completely into negative. There's
Spoiler alarm.
also, yeah, it's a spoiler alarm because not just for the performance, but we have also, it's all done and all set because it was also for my PhD, which I just turned in. We have a more artistic video piece, which will come out probably in the end of the year. It's like also a short film, it's like 16 minutes, and it's completely in negative, and also with our music. And it's more like, yeah, than a really artistic approach, not such a documentary approach, and therefore we use these images completely negative, and they're really, really beautiful in negative, and look, yeah, even more foreign. Yeah. Yes?
Yes.
Of course, you know, this is Thunder Day, we're very sophisticated and we can appreciate this, but my question is for Carl. You live in a town with 300 people in it.
That's
How
right,
do you
yeah.
explain this to your neighbors?
That's funny. You see I didn't think you didn't see this. We had this Schublattl, guys. Maybe I should show them this video and say this is my artistic work.
But I'm just saying that, like, you know, it's, you know, for Daniel, because, you know, you're studying this, but for you, Carl, you know, as an artist, it's always tough to explain your art to people, and I know you come from a very small community.
Yeah, that's right. That's
to
right.
get to, you know, be appreciated and everything, you know, it's more difficult.
That's right. Yeah, but I think I don't talk so much about this work and my music stuff because it's another way like Daniel did. Daniel has this, he is on, how can I say, full-time artist and a lecturer, and Daniel is always in this creativity thing, and I have a daily routine. I work as a social worker, and this is where I get my money from, and this is for me just, I will not say it is a hobby, it's more than a hobby, it's a passion, but this is not, yeah, how can I say? So I don't have to talk so much about it and tell this to people. I just do the things and show it to people who are interested in, and yeah, less talk, more action.
And I can be like so happy that I have Carl, of course, because I get a PhD for this, and he's happy not talking about it. So it's like, it's quite a difference there. I actually, it was the idea to try just to give him also a PhD, but we will see how to manage this.
So did you defend already? Or?
No, I have my defensio. I turned it all in. I have my defensio in December.
I will come and do the critical questions.
Yeah. Good. I think from the time we can maybe just like finish off if there's any other question, and while we set up or change, we can just have some music one, or Carl is playing some guitar and I put some on, but like I think from our part.
Yeah, can we see you in action with
Yeah.
the pedals?
Yeah.
Half like pre-produced and half I turn stuff on, turn stuff off, and I can play fills inside. Yeah.
I think the MIDI doesn't fit.
Okay.
We'll check this again.
Yeah.
It's off.
It's now. Leuchtet?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now it works.
And there's like one cable, that's the MIDI cable coming out here, going to his loop station, so our both machines know exactly when there's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah, they talk to each other.
They communicate.
They do better than us.
This is mobilizing knowledge. Yeah. And you hear I play guitar, yeah, like this. And as I have this octave pedal. So this is just a guitar sound, and then I can make this sub octave and a higher octave, or just let this sub octave. And then this is the guitar amp, this is the bass amp, then I change the amp, and then I have a bass guitar. Yeah, then I can loop something, amp. Now I'm on the guitar amp. Tone together like a real band.
Sounds in from the video, of course, my video editing.
for lunch.
Thank you so much.